We are gathered here today to discuss a subject that has perplexed humanity for centuries. It is the subject of supply of freedom, of that elusive state we call prosperity. But before we proceed a single step further, I must ask you to put aside everything you think you know about money. I must ask you to suspend the beliefs you have inherited from the world, the beliefs that tell you that wealth is a matter of luck, of geography, of ruthless competition, or of mere chance. If you are listening to this, it is not an accident. There is no such thing as accident in the divine economy. You have been drawn to this message by the necessity of your own soul. You are here because your spirit is ready to graduate from the kindergarten of limitation into the university of understanding. You are here because you are tired of fighting shadows, and you are ready to learn the cause of things. We are going to talk about the law of the mental equivalent. This is the cornerstone of all true metaphysics. If you understand this law, you are free. If you do not understand it, you will remain a slave to circumstances, forever drifting like a cork on the ocean of life, battered by waves you do not understand and cannot control. What is the mental equivalent? It is a spiritual law as precise, as exacting, and as unemotional as the laws of physics. If you touch a hot stove, you get burned. The stove does not hate you, it simply obeys the law of heat transfer. If you step off a roof, you fall. The law of gravity does not judge you, it simply acts. In exactly the same way, your outer life, your financial condition, your home, your career, your debts, your assets, is the exact mathematical replica of your inner state of consciousness. What you have in your life today is the physical manifestation of the mental equivalent you have been carrying in your soul. The world is a mirror. It can only reflect what stands before it. If you stand before a mirror with a frown on your face, you cannot force the reflection to smile. You can scrub the mirror, you can plead with the mirror, you can attack the mirror, but until you change your expression, the reflection remains fixed. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change the reflection. They manipulate the outer world. They switch jobs, they move to new cities, they borrow money to pay debts, they hustle, they grind, they struggle. They are exhausted because they are fighting the mirror. They are trying to change the effect without altering the cause. The great emancipator, Jesus Christ, said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." Note the precision of that statement. He did not say, "Seek the things." He said, "Seek the kingdom." Where is this kingdom? He told us that too. The kingdom of God is within you. It is a state of consciousness. It is a mental atmosphere. If you build a mental equivalent of poverty, you can be given $1 million today, and within a few years you will be destitute again. Why? Because your mental blueprint specifies lack, and the universal law must execute that blueprint. It will find a way to drain that money from you. It will bring about emergencies, bad investments, or theft, solely to bring your outer world back into alignment with your inner poverty. Conversely, if you build a mental equivalent of wealth, you can be stripped of every penny you own, dropped in the middle of a foreign city, and within a year you will be prospering again. Why? Because you carry the blueprint of success. The law must rush to fill that mold. You must understand that God is not a man in the sky who decides to bless one person and curse another. God is infinite principle. God is the fount of life. God is substance. And this substance is forever flowing, seeking an outlet. You are that outlet. Imagine you are holding a cup. You go to the ocean to fill it. You can only take away a cupful of water. The ocean is not stingy. The ocean is vast. The limitation is not in the supply. The limitation is in the vessel you brought. If you bring a thimble, you get a thimbleful. If you bring a bucket, you get a bucketful. Your vessel is your consciousness. It is your capacity to believe. It is your mental equivalent. For years, perhaps you have been carrying a thimble. You have been praying for an ocean of abundance, but you have only prepared your mind to receive a drop. You have looked at your bills and said, "I cannot pay this." You have looked at the economy and said, "Times are hard." You have looked at wealthy people and felt a twinge of envy or resentment, thinking, "Why them and not me?" Every time you thought those thoughts, you were shrinking your vessel. You were solidifying the mental equivalent of lack. You were telling the universe, "I am poor, I am limited, I am a victim." And the universe, being a faithful servant, said, "As you wish. Here is more lack. Here is more limitation. We must stop this now. We must dismantle the old house of fear and build a new temple of faith. To build a mental equivalent of prosperity, you must first stop worshiping money. I know this sounds contradictory, but hear me out. The broke are often more obsessed with money than the rich. They worry about it, they fret over it, they chase it. When you chase something, it runs away. You must realize that money is only a symbol. It is the shadow, not the substance. The substance is God. The substance is divine ideas. When you look at a dollar bill, you are looking at a piece of paper that represents value. But where does value come from? It comes from intelligence, from service, from joy, from the creative power of the mind. If you make money your God, you will always be in terror of losing it. But if you make God your source, you realize that the symbol's money can flow in and out, but the source remains eternal. You stop looking at the mailbox for checks and start looking to the divine mind for ideas. The law of the mental equivalent states that like attracts like. You cannot attract prosperity with a vibration of desperation. Desperation assumes absence. Faith assumes presence. Think of a radio. If you want to hear a symphony, you must tune your receiver to the frequency of the symphony station. If you are tuned to the static of fear, you cannot hear the music of abundance even though the music is broadcasting right now, all around you. The air is full of music, but your instrument is not resonant with it. Your mind is the radio. Your feelings are the dial. We are preparing to engage in a great experiment. In the next part of this journey, we will utilize a scientific prayer to reset the dial. But you cannot simply parrot words and expect miracles. A parrot can say, God is love. But a parrot does not know what it means. You must engage the intellect and the heart. You must arrive at a place of conviction. Consider the electricity in your home. You do not doubt it. You do not wake up in the morning, stare at the light switch, and wonder, if I flip this, will the power company decide to grant me light today? No. You have a contract. You have a connection. You flip the switch with absolute nonchalance, with total certainty. You know the law of electricity. If the circuit is closed, the light must shine. We are moving toward that same level of certainty with God. We are moving toward the understanding that prosperity is not a reward for good behavior. It is the result of a closed spiritual circuit. Some of you are thinking, but I have made mistakes. I have wasted money. I have been lazy. I have sinned. Listen to me. The law of electricity does not care if you are a saint or a sinner. If you wire the house correctly, the light comes on. The law of mind does not hold a grudge. The moment, the very split second, you change your thought, the law begins to work in your favor. The prodigal son was not interrogated when he returned home. He was given the robe and the ring the moment he turned his face toward the Father. You are turning your face toward the Father now. You are realizing that the poverty you have experienced was a mental illusion. It was a nightmare you scared yourself with. You created it by believing in secondary causes, by believing that the economy, your boss, or the government held the power. They do not holding the power. You hold the power. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, St. Paul said. Renewal means to make new again. It means to wipe the slate clean. Before we can plant the seeds of wealth, we must weed the garden. You cannot plant roses in a bed of nettles. The nettles will choke the roses. The nettles are your resentments. I want you to pause and think. Is there anyone you are angry with regarding money? A partner who cheated you? A parent who didn't leave you an inheritance? A boss who underpaid you? Yourself for a bad investment? You must cut those ropes. You must dissolve that knot. As long as you hold resentment, you are bound to the person or condition you resent with a cosmic steel chain. You are keeping yourself on their frequency. You are saying, they have power over me. They have no power over you unless you give it to them. Reclaim your power. The mental equivalent of prosperity is built on a foundation of peace. A mind that is anxious, hurried, or terrified cannot reflect the bounty of God. God is peace. God is unhurried. Have you ever seen nature in a hurry? Does the sun rush to rise? Do the tides panic? Yet, they accomplish everything. We are building a consciousness that knows that the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. What does that mean? I shall not want. It means I shall not lack. It means the very concept of wanting something is impossible because I already possess the reality of it in spirit. When you possess the mental equivalent, you walk differently. You speak differently. You do not haggle over pennies. You do not hoard. You circulate. You trust. You know that you are connected to an underground spring that never runs dry. If you dip a bucket into a well, the water level immediately rises to fill the space. You cannot deplete the well. In the next section, we will undertake the specific work of building this equivalent through scientific prayer. But know this: the words will only be as powerful as the feeling behind them. You must begin, right now, to act the part. I do not mean spending money you do not have. That is folly. I mean living with the dignity of a prince of heaven. When you pay a bill, do not do it with a trembling hand. Bless the money. Say, I thank God that I have this to pay. Go forth, do good, and return to me multiplied. When you see a wealthy person, bless them. Say, praise God for their abundance. It is proof that the law works. If it works for them, it works for me. When a negative thought of lack comes to knock at your door, do not answer it. Say, I know you. You are an old lie. You have no place in my new house. We are clearing the debris. We are laying the foundation. We are preparing the projector to run a new film. A film of beauty, of order, of overflow. The law of the mental equivalent is the master key. It opens every door. It dissolves every barrier. It bridges every chasm. You are now standing at the threshold of a new life. The past is dead. The mistakes of yesterday are dissolved in the ocean of God's mercy. Today is a fresh sheet of paper. We are about to write a new story. Prepare your mind. Quiet your senses. The great work is about to begin. Here is part 2 of the script, dedicated entirely to the scientific treatment, the prayer. It is written in the immersive, instructional, and deeply spiritual style of Emmet Fox. This section is designed to be a complete spiritual workshop in itself, guiding the listener not just to say words, but to undergo a shift in consciousness. We have arrived at the laboratory. In the first part of our journey, we established the intellectual foundation. We understood that your outer world is a reflection of your inner mental equivalent. We understood that you cannot change the reflection without changing the face you present to the mirror. Now, we must move from theory to practice. We must move from the lecture hall into the sanctuary. We are about to engage in what we in metaphysics call a scientific treatment. I want you to understand exactly what that word means. We do not call it a wish. We do not call it a hope. We call it a treatment. Why? Because it is exactly like a medical treatment. When a surgeon treats a wound, he follows a specific protocol to bring about healing. When a musician treats a discord, he adjusts the instrument to bring about harmony. Poverty, lack, debt, and financial anxiety are diseases. They are not diseases of the body, but diseases of the mind. They are a form of spiritual insanity, where the child of God has forgotten his heritage and believes he is an orphan. This treatment is the antidote. It is the medicine that dissolves the error and reveals the truth. Before we begin, I must ask you to disconnect. You cannot perform this operation while checking your phone. You cannot do this while listening to the television. You cannot do this while worrying about the time. You must, as the Bible says, enter into your closet and shut the door. This closet is the silence of your own mind. Sit comfortably. Uncross your legs and arms. You want the energy to flow freely. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Hold it for a moment. And as you exhale, imagine you are breathing out the world. Breathe out the news. Breathe out the bills. Breathe out the arguments. Breathe out the past. Breathe out the future. You are now in the eternal now. You are in the secret place of the Most High. In this place there is no debt. In this place there is no unemployment. In this place there is only God. We are going to construct this prayer together, step by step. We will not rush through it. We will dwell on each thought until it becomes a fire in your bones. A parrot can repeat words, but a parrot does not demonstrate prosperity. You must feel the truth of what you are saying. Step 1. The recognition of God. Every true prayer begins with God. We do not begin with the problem. If you begin your prayer by thinking about your debt, you are praying to the debt. You are magnifying it. You are giving it power. We turn our back on the problem and face the solution. Repeat these words in the silence of your heart, and let them sink like stones into a deep well. I turn my attention away from the appearance of things. I turn away from the evidence of my senses. I look solely to the one power and the one presence in the universe, God. Feel that. There are not two powers. There is not God in the economy. There is not God in bad luck. There is only God. And what is God? God is life. God is intelligence. God is love. And crucially for us right now, God is substance. God is the infinite, invisible stuff from which all galaxies, all stars, and all gold are made. God is the source. I recognize that God is not poor. God is infinite abundance. There is no lack in the divine mind. There is no recession in the kingdom of heaven. God is the overflowing horn of plenty, forever pouring himself out into creation. Visualize a waterfall, massive, thunderous, unending. It does not struggle to flow. It does not worry if it will run out of water tomorrow. It simply flows. That is God. Step 2. What? The unification. Now that we have established who God is, we must establish who you are. You are not a stranger to this power. You are not a beggar standing outside the gates. I am the child of God. I am made in His image and likeness. Therefore, the nature of the Father is the nature of the Son. If God is abundance, then I am abundance. I am one with the source. This is the most difficult part for the mortal mind to accept. The mortal mind says, "Look at your bank account, you are broke." But the spiritual mind says, "I am an heir to the kingdom." You must bridge this gap now. I am a channel for the expression of divine wealth. Just as electricity requires a wire to flow, God requires me to express His opulence. I am that wire. I am that channel. I am open, receptive, and willing to let the divine flow move through me. Step 3, the great denial. Now we must do some cleaning. In metaphysics, denial is not hiding from reality, it is dissolving a lie. If you wake up from a nightmare where you are being chased by a tiger, you say, "There is no tiger." That is a denial. You are denying the power of the illusion. We are going to deny the power of poverty. Speak this with authority. Do not whisper it. Command it silently. I deny the reality of lack. I deny the power of debt over my life. These things are shadows. They are errors in my thinking, and I now correct them. They have no power to limit me. They have no past, they have no future, and they have no present reality in the truth of being. I dissolve, in the name of the Christ, every negative thought I have ever held about money. I forgive myself for past mistakes. I forgive the economy. I forgive the government. I release all blame. I cut the cords of resentment that have bound me to poverty. I am free. Feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. The moment you stop blaming, you stop being a victim. The moment you deny the power of the problem, you starve it of your energy. Step 4. The great affirmation. Now that we have cleared the weeds, we plant the seed. We claim our heritage. We do not ask if we can have it. We claim it as already ours. I affirm that divine substance is now flowing into my life in avalanches of abundance. I am a magnet for golden opportunities. The Spirit of the Lord goes before me and makes easy my way. Money is God in action. It is good. It is useful. It is a tool for freedom. I bless the money I have, and I bless the money that is on its way. I see it coming to me under grace in perfect ways. I do not need to struggle. I do not need to manipulate. I only need to align. Infinite intelligence now gives me the ideas that lead to wealth. Divine love now connects me with the people who bless my prosperity. Divine order now regulates my affairs, paying every debt and clearing every obligation. Step 5, the realization and thanksgiving. This is the seal. This is where the magic happens. You must accept it as done. I do not wait for the evidence to believe. I believe, and therefore I shall see the evidence. I give thanks, Father, that you have heard me. I give thanks that my prosperity is already an established fact in the divine mind. I am rich in consciousness, and therefore I must be rich in manifestation. It is the law. It cannot fail. I rest in this certainty. Peace, be still. The full scientific prayer. Now that we have broken it down, we are going to say the full prayer together. I want you to let these words flow through you as a single, powerful stream of consciousness. Do not analyze them now. Just let them be the truth of your life. Say this with me, in the sanctuary of your soul. I am now in the presence of pure spirit. I recognize that God is the only power and the only presence in the universe. God is not poor, God is infinite abundance, and I am His reflection. I deny the power of debt. I deny the reality of lack. These are but shadows, and they flee before the light of truth. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. This is not a metaphor, it is a statement of fact. Divine intelligence now directs my steps. It inspires my ideas. It governs my business affairs. I am a channel for the expression of divine wealth. Money is but the symbol of God's love and freedom circulating in my life. I bless my current supply, no matter how small, knowing that what I bless multiplies. I cast every burden upon the Christ within. I am relaxed. I am peaceful. I am expectant. I know that even now the law is working to bring about my good in ways I cannot yet foresee. I claim my heritage. It is done. And so it is. The silence now. Do not open your eyes yet. Stay here. This moment, right after the prayer, is the most critical moment of all. This is what we call the silence. The words you have spoken are the seed. The silence is the soil covering them. Do not rush back to your worries. Do not rush back to check your phone. Sit in this feeling. What does it feel like? It feels like relief, doesn't it? It feels like a heavy backpack has been taken off your shoulders. It feels like a secret excitement, the kind you feel when you know a wonderful surprise is coming, even if you don't know exactly what it is. Bathe in that feeling. That feeling is the mental equivalent. That feeling is the magnet. If a thought of worry tries to enter right now, gently push it away. Say to it, "No, I have prayed. The invoice is signed. The order is placed. God is on the job. You are conditioning your soul. You are stretching the capacity of your vessel. Remember the cup and the ocean. Right now, in this silence, your cup is growing into a bucket. Your bucket is growing into a reservoir. You are becoming a person who can handle wealth. You are becoming a person who vibrates at the frequency of success. The seal, we are about to leave the laboratory, but you are taking this energy with you. Understand that what we have just done is real work. It is more real than digging a ditch. It is more real than building a house. Because everything physical comes from the spiritual. You have just moved the blocks in the invisible realm. The men at the end of a prayer is not just a sign off, it is a legal seal. It means, so be it. It means it is fixed. When you say amen, you are slamming the gavel of the judge of the universe. You are declaring the case closed. The verdict is in your favor. The verdict is abundance. Take one last deep breath. Fill your lungs with this new atmosphere of plenty. Hold it. Exhale. It is done. Open your eyes. Look around the room you are in. It looks the same, doesn't it? The furniture is the same. The walls are the same. But you are not the same. The viewer has changed, and therefore the view must change. You have set the law in motion. The gears of the universe are turning. The delivery trucks of providence are loading their cargo. Do not look back. Do not doubt you have treated the situation. The healing has begun. The danger is not that God will fail you. The danger is not that the law of attraction will stop working. The danger is that you will undo the work you have just done. Imagine a man who spends an hour scrubbing a wall to make it perfectly clean. He uses the best soap, the best brushes, and immense effort. The wall is spotless. But the moment he finishes, he dips his hands in mud and smears them all over the surface he just cleaned. You would call that man insane. Yet, that is exactly what 99% of people do with their prayers. They spend 10 minutes in the morning affirming, "God is my supply, I am wealthy, I am free." They clean the wall of their mind. But then they walk out the door, get into their car, turn on the news, and start worrying about inflation. They get to work and complain about their salary. They open a bill and feel a knot of terror in their stomach. They have taken the mud of fear and smeared it over the clean wall of their faith. They have neutralized their prayer. They have canceled their order. If you want to demonstrate prosperity, not just talk about it, but demonstrate it in hard cash and real opportunity, you must stop this madness. You must undertake a specific discipline. I call this the 7-day mental diet. This is not a fast. A fast is when you stop eating. A diet is when you choose specifically what you will eat. For the next 7 days, you are going to choose exactly what you feed your mind. The rules are simple, but they are rigorous. In fact, this may be the most difficult thing you have ever attempted. But if you succeed, it will change your entire destiny. Rule number 1 for 7 consecutive days. You must not allow yourself to dwell for a single moment on any kind of negative thought. Note that I said you must not dwell on it. I did not say you will not have negative thoughts. You will. Negative thoughts are like birds flying over your head. You cannot stop them from flying, but you can prevent them from building a nest in your hair. When a thought of lack comes, and it will, you must not entertain it. You must not invite it in for tea. You must not pull up a chair and discuss it. You must turn your back on it immediately. Rule number 2. If you catch yourself dwelling on a negative thought, if you find yourself worrying about a bill, fearing the future, or resenting a person, you must stop immediately. If you stop within a few seconds, no harm is done. But if you indulge in it, if you roll it around in your mind, if you start to enjoy the misery, you have broken the diet. Rule number 3. If you break the diet, you must stop. You cannot patch it up. You must drop the experiment for a day or 2, and then start again from day 1. You must have 7 consecutive days of mental purity. Why is this so strict? Because we are trying to break a groove in the brain. We are trying to rewire the subconscious mind. The subconscious is a creature of habit. It has been trained for years to worry. To break that training, we need a period of absolute discipline. Now, you are asking, how do I do this? How do I stop a thought that feels so real? I am going to give you the tool. I call it the golden key. It is a scientific method for changing your mind. When a difficulty arises, when the bill arrives, when the boss yells, when the bank account looks empty, do not try to fight the problem. Do not try to argue with the fear. Do not try to figure out a solution with your mortal mind. Instead, stop thinking about the problem completely and think about God. That is the key. It sounds too simple, I know, but it is the most powerful thing you can do. If you are in a dark room, you do not fight the darkness with a sword. You do not try to sweep the darkness out with a broom. You simply turn on the light. The darkness cannot remain where the light is. Your problem is the darkness. God is the light. When the thought comes, I don't have enough money for rent, immediately use the key. Say to yourself, stop. Rent is a material condition. God is spiritual substance. God is infinite ideas. God is present everywhere. Therefore, God is present in this situation. Do not think about God solving the rent. That is still thinking about the rent. Think about the nature of God. Think about His majesty. Think about His power. Think about the order of the stars. Think about the beauty of a flower. If you can keep your mind on God for just 1 minute, the mental atmosphere changes. The tension leaves. And when the tension leaves, the channel opens. Let us look closely at why people fail at this, so you can avoid the trap. Most people treat their mind like a public hallway. They let anyone and anything walk through it. They read a headline about a recession, and they say, "Oh, isn't it terrible? What will we do?" They meet a friend who complains about the cost of living, and they nod and say, "Yes, it's getting impossible." During this 7-day diet, you cannot afford that luxury. You are in training. You are an athlete of the spirit. If a friend begins to complain to you, you must not join in. You do not have to be rude. You can listen politely, but inwardly you must say to yourself, that is his reality, it is not mine. My reality is God's abundance. Do not nod in agreement. Do not add your own complaints. Remain mentally separate. If you engage in the complaint, you have accepted the premise of lack. You have signed the contract of poverty. And the law says, if you sign it, you shall have it. You must be vigilant. The devil, which is just a word for your own negative ego, will try to trick you. It will say, but this is responsible. You have to worry about this debt. It's practical to worry. That is a lie. Worry has never paid a bill in the history of the world. Worry has never created an idea. Worry freezes the mind. Worry blocks the intuition. Faith is practical. Calmness is practical. When you are calm, you get ideas. When you are calm, you see opportunities. When you are calm, people want to do business with you. So when the voice says, you must worry, you reply, no, I must trust. Trust is the superior strategy. You must understand that this is not just poetry, it is chemistry. Every thought you think releases a chemical reaction in your body and a vibrational reaction in your environment. When you think I am poor, you are literally secreting chemicals of stress that shut down your higher brain functions. You become stupider. You become blinder to opportunity. When you think God is my supply, you relax. Your brain integrates. You see things you missed before. During these 7 days, we are detoxing the system. We are flushing out the poison of poverty consciousness. It will be uncomfortable at first. Your mind will rebel. It is addicted to the adrenaline of worry. It likes the drama of not having enough. It gives you something to talk about. It makes you feel like a martyr. You must give up the pleasure of being a victim. You must decide that you would rather be prosperous than be right. You would rather be wealthy than be a person who has a good story about how hard life is. Here is another crucial rule for the diet. Do not tell anyone you are doing it. Keep it a secret. If you go around telling people, I am doing a spiritual diet to manifest money, they will laugh at you. They will inject their doubt into your mind. They will say, don't be silly, look at the economy. Furthermore, talking dissipates power. A steam engine works because the steam is contained. If you open the valves and let the steam escape into the air, the engine doesn't move. Contain your power. Keep your treatment between you and God. Let the results speak for themselves. When you demonstrate your abundance, when the new car arrives, when the debt is paid, when the trip is booked, then you can tell them how you did it. But not before. The hardest time will be the morning after you start. You will wake up, and for a few seconds you will feel great. Then memory will return. The old heavy blanket of reality will try to settle on you. You will remember the problems of yesterday. This is the decisive moment. You must catch it instantly. Before your feet touch the floor, you must declare, "This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I do not accept the burdens of yesterday. I am born new this morning." Do not let the world set your temperature. You set the thermostat. If you open your email and see a demand for payment, do not react. Pause. Use the golden key. God is in this email. God is the substance that pays this. I bless this creditor because they have trusted me. The supply is on its way. Then go about your business. Do the next logical thing. If you need to make a call, make it. If you need to work, work. But do it without the heavy, grinding friction of anxiety. Do it with the oil of joy. The great exchange, what we are doing here is an exchange. We are trading the human equivalent for the divine equivalent. The human equivalent says, "I have limited skills, limited time, and limited resources. Therefore, I can only earn so much." The divine equivalent says, "I am a child of the infinite. My resources are the ideas of God. My time is eternity. My skills are the talents God expresses through me. Therefore, my supply is unlimited." During this diet, you are refusing to trade in the currency of the human equivalent. You are only accepting the currency of heaven. If someone tries to hand you a poverty thought, refuse it, just as you would refuse a counterfeit bill. Do not get angry. Just mentally say, "Counterfeit, not accepted." Now, what can you expect if you actually do this? I am not telling you it will be easy. I am telling you it will be worth it. If you can keep this 7-day mental diet, if you can truly keep the channel clear of fear and resentment for 1 week, you will see a miracle. I do not use that word lightly. You will see a change in your affairs that cannot be explained by logic alone. Checks will arrive from unexpected sources. Debts you thought were mountains will turn into molehills and disappear. People who were difficult will suddenly become cooperative or leave your life. But more than the money, you will have a new possession. You will have dominion. You will know, for the rest of your life, that you are not a victim of the world. You will know that you carry the controls of your destiny in your own mind. You will never again be afraid of a bill. You will never again be afraid of a recession. You will look at them and say, "I know how to handle this. I know the law." That peace, that sense of power, is the true prosperity. The money is just the shadow that follows it. Start tomorrow morning, or better yet, start right now. Mark the date on your calendar, 7 days. Make a covenant with yourself and with God. For these 7 days, I will not indulge in negative thinking. I will keep the faith. I will use the golden key. If you fall, pick yourself up and start again. Do not condemn yourself. God is not judging you. God is cheering for you. You are building a new house. The first few bricks are the heaviest. But once the foundation is laid, the walls go up quickly. Go forth now. Not with hope, but with certainty. The law works. It always works. It works for the just and the unjust. It works for the rich and the poor. It is waiting for you to work it. The feast is prepared. The table is set. The abundance of the universe is here. Why are you waiting? Change your mind, and you change your